a scroll which contains the blessings and the words and the memories and the thoughts of the congregation. Something for you two to read through at home, to have people add to as you continue on your path. On the cover, the quote from Pirkei Avot, the Ethics of Our Fathers, which says, Aseh lecha rav ukaneh lecha chaver, which is really a challenge to us. It means make for yourself a rabbi, find for yourself a friend. And as you will see in the messages in here, in you and in you, Didi, we have found both rabbi and friend. And lastly, I spoke earlier of your final sermon on Rosh Hashanah. You ended that sermon with a story about a man who questioned God's existence amidst all of the atrocities that exist in the world. And when the man looked to God and said, "How can you do nothing?" the voice of God came down and said, "I didn't do nothing. I made you." And as those last words of your final Rosh Hashanah sermon to this synagogue so poignantly are inscribed the first words in the scroll, God didn't do nothing. God made you. And now I would like to invite our president, Michael Lurie, for the next part of the presentation.
I would like to start by complaining that I am following Paul. And to the extent that my charming wife, Lori Hazenkamp, helped us get Paul to agree to be the MC and to do this, I figured even with her as well. I must tell you, too, that this is a very special evening. So special, Stephen and Didi, that I considered wearing normal clothes, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But I did not go to see the Los Angeles Kings play hockey tonight. I'm here, and I will not mention the score because I'm sure they all taped it. And they're going to go home and spend the next 2.5 hours watching this show. My task is to thank all of you for coming, our congregation members, the B'nai Mitzvah families, the board, the past presidents, friends, family, our honored guests, who I'm going to go and hug now. Yeah, you're the honored guest. I really am not going to try to compete with Paul and his wonderful remarks. I have a much more finite task tonight, and it's really not in my character to have a very finite task or not to speak at great length. But I'm going to make a number of people stand up. I want the past presidents to please stand. At this point, please stand. And because they're going to be standing during my remarks, I'm going to be relatively brief. Stephen and Didi, we wanted to give you something else, something that would not be in your home, on your fireplace, on your coffee table, in your beautiful new office, but something that you could share and we could share with you. A reminder to you when you stop by every day, all day, of how much we love you and how much you mean to us, both of you, Didi, you as well. You have to go read Lori and my page in the book to see all the things you've done for us, the babies you've named and the weddings you've done and the weddings you've done, and the bar and the bat mitzvahs and memorial services for our wonderful departed family members. But what we decided upon, the past presidents and we, and I want to thank Chaim Frankel for his guidance in this, and Rabbi Bernstein, and a bunch of other people on our little committee, something that would tell future generations of KIers how wonderful our rabbi and Rebbetzin were over the course of the years. I will tell our lovely audience, both here and in the social hall and the chapel, we at KI are really creative in the use of space because we don't have nearly as much space as we pretend we do. So we use things in the best of fashion. We have constructed a new special Rabbi Emeritus wing. It's sort of right through that window in here to get over to there. As Paul said, you can see from place to another. We're really still busy building that Rabbi Emeritus office. And I'm sure that any week now it'll be available to you to go into. I walk in and it's a lovely expanse of space. So in honor of both of your contributions over 28 years, what we are doing is to dedicate our Rabbi Emeritus wing to Rabbi Stephen and Didi Reuben. And thank you for your years of service. Following this service, there will be an unveiling of a plaque which we sneakily put onto the wall today, sort of just outside here in front of the library. And I want all 912 people to crush together. Seriously, please take a moment before, during, after the ONIC to come back over here, take a look. We will try to get ourselves over there so that we can unveil it, and Rabbi Bernstein will say a prayer. We Jews have a prayer for almost everything, including the unveiling of the Rabbi Emeritus Wing dedication plaque. And with that, I want to thank you very much for your contributions to the congregation and to my family, and wish you the best in your future.
When Rabbi Reuben teaches confirmation class and starts talking about the names all around the building, what he says is there's lots of ways to contribute to building a community. And what having names up in this building, on the walls, in all kinds of places, teaches our children and our grandchildren is that places like this don't just happen. Places like this require people to show up and people to come, individuals, families to come, and they have names. And so we know that at KI, we value all kinds of contributions, and so now truly, all of those people that have contributed to what this place is, I know you value that more than anything. We trust that you value that more than anything, both of you, that there are lots of ways to give, lots of ways to contribute, and that it takes people showing up. We would have a synagogue here, maybe without you. We wouldn't have this synagogue without you. And so all of the people you represent, who stand for all of the things you have invited us to be part of, are included in your names on this wing, are included in the names that now will be above this part of our building forever. We bless all that you've invited us into, and we hope to continue to honor your names by what we do here. It is our privilege, those in the social hall, in the chapel, and here and at home, or wherever you are, to now recite the bracha for first things, for new things, as we together in all of these places dedicate the new wing of our synagogue to the amazing name of Yah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehecheyanu b'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. We bless the source of life, who works through us in such a way that we can create a place and a way of being together, that we can celebrate this unique and amazing, wonderful moment in time together. And we say, Amen. Amen. You want to say something?
Okay. Now you come? Just kidding. It's just too overwhelming, really. 42 years ago, I entered a rabbinical school because I liked to study and I wanted to stay out of Vietnam. How could I possibly have known at the time that that decision would have meant that I discovered the loves of my life at Temple Judea and the meaning of my life here with all of you at KI. You use one of these also? Because they can't hear me? Okay, well, you have to turn this one on. Yeah, I know. I had Gable, I have Paul, I have Michael. Just don't ask Didi. You know, this whole last year is, in fact, Gable said something when we first walked in and when she first started crying. This whole last year is, in a weird kind of surreal way, almost been like going to my own funeral where I get to hear the eulogies over and over again. Which of course reminds me of that really old story of those three friends who were sitting around talking about what they'd like people to say at their funeral. You know, and the first friend says, at my funeral, what I want them to say is what an amazing philanthropist I've been and all the people that I've supported and helped and given to in life. And the second friend said, well, at my funeral, I want them to just say that I was an amazing mensch and loving and compassionate and caring and supportive and inclusive. And the third friend thought for a moment and said, well, at my funeral, what I want them to say is, look, he's moving. Everybody always wants me to tell a story, so no, seriously, we're not moving. Seriously, we live 2 blocks away. And I'm going on a sabbatical with my lovely wife for the next 6 months, but we're not moving. We're moving into a much smaller office, but we're not moving. Yeah. And but it's your wing. Yeah, it's my whole wing. I'm moving into a big wing and a small office. And we'll all figure out what emeritus means, you know, as time unfolds and life continues. One thing I know for sure, I keep writing about it in the KI News, is that I'm here for life, and we're here in this community for life, and I couldn't imagine being anywhere else for the rest of my life. You know, this morning at 9 in the morning, Daniel, Leanne, and I were singing with all of the ECC kids, the preschool kids, and it was adorable, and they sang a song to me. And afterward, a mother sent me this email, and she said, Dear Rabbi Reuben, during the ECC Shabbat this morning, all the children were invited to come sit on the rug and sing to you. My 4-year-old, Joel, who is in the turquoise room, did not feel comfortable going up to the front. She whispered to me, will he still know that I love him? So she wanted me to know that she promised her I would. That's what makes this worthwhile. every year I have a student from a rabbinical school. One of them is here. A student from the rabbinical school as an intern, and I'm the mentor of that student, and we meet every week. And in theory, my job is to tell them what it's like to grow up and be a real rabbi. You know, what it's like to actually work in a congregation and be a rabbi. And after I tell them all the things that really that Paul so beautifully shared with you tonight, and I remind them, I tell them that one of the most important things to know about becoming a rabbi is that it's not a job, that it's a life. There's no job there, there's no hours there. It's a life that you either embrace and love or you shouldn't do it. Then I read them things like this. And I say, when all is said and done, with all the brilliant sermons you might give that no one will remember, with all of the classes that you teach, with all of the things you write, with all of the everyday meetings and running a synagogue and doing your best to create the most compelling programs that will draw people in and touch their lives and help them and encourage them and transform them and inspire them, when all is said and done, this is what matters most in life. That you find individual human beings, children, adults, one at a time, just one, and you touch their lives in some meaningful way. The greatest blessing of this year for me has been that at the High Holidays, Rabbi Bernstein encouraged people to write letters and notes to me. And I've been getting them. And I have a big file at home of notes and letters like this and things that people remembered of something I said or something I did that was just in the course of life itself that they never forgot or somehow touched them, somehow made a difference in their lives. And that's what success is about as a rabbi. Yes, I love this building. I love that together we created this beautiful spiritual home, and every time someone walks in and goes, wow, I've never seen a synagogue like this, and they love that we're so obviously a community, and we're so obviously about seeing each other and sharing with each other. I love that, but the synagogue isn't the building. It's the community. It's the people. And this privilege to be with you, to be able to show up and share my life, our lives with you for these 28 years is the greatest gift anyone could ever receive the greatest privilege anyone could ever get in their lives. So that's why at High Holidays, some of you may remember, Didi and I passed out, 4,000 of these little things, and then we ran out of them and made a whole bunch more in case anyone wants one, our little schmilies. Because if I thought about what really matters, it's kind of schmiley. It's see how much I love you. And in every possible way, people have been telling me that, and I have been privileged to be able to love in return in the most profound spiritual sense. Look, the remarkable Chaim Frankel has been my partner here and my cantor for the entire time I've been here, preceded me by a year. He's been here for 29 years, uplifting people. There's nothing to me in the world like going to the High Holidays, which for me are about hearing Chaim chant and hearing Chaim touch everybody's soul, because there's nothing in the world like that. And there is literally nobody that I can imagine, that I could imagine, and so I quietly and insidiously manipulated the entire congregation so they would hire Rabbi Bernstein to be my associate and then successor. There is literally nobody better in the world, to become the next senior rabbi of KI than Rabbi Bernstein. Here's the message. One sentence. The message would be, approach every task in the year ahead, every day. Approach every task as though it were the moment that will define you. Approach every task as if it were the moment that will define you. And open your heart and embrace every opportunity to embrace every other person you meet. Thank you all. In spite of the fact that I spoke for so long, I really have no words that could possibly capture this.
I now, you can be seated, would like to introduce someone who makes a lot of things happen here, one of our other amazing clergy members, Rabbi Carrie Vogel.
So first, one more huge thank you to the B'nai Mitzvah family.
Don't leave.
Yeah, don't leave.
Don't leave. You don't want to miss this.
This is the best part. Just saying. A huge thank you to our B'nai Mitzvah families and Paul and Audra for organizing everything this entire evening. So I'm actually going to ask everyone to rise and put their arms around each other. I'm going to ask Didi and Gable and Stephen to come stand with your families. Hold hands with the person next to you. Put your arms around each other. Stephen, for all of these years, you have inspired the ECC and the religious school kids through your music, just as you have done for all of us tonight. And so, with the help of one of our amazing parents, Scotty Bergstein, we have created what we think is a very fitting tribute for you. You have taught our kids about Torah and ritual and history. You have made this a safe space for asking questions and challenging. And you have gone to extraordinary lengths to make sure that each kid knows that they matter. And in doing all of these things, you have taught them to be proud to be Jewish.
Turn the lights down if they could. The spotlight.
Rabbi Reuben, so you're leaving, huh?
Are you taking a trip? Becoming emeritus?
Rabbi, we're gonna miss you. Why so soon? It's not like you've been here for 30 years.
Actually, it's 28.
Oh, really? You have? Oh, you have? That's a long time.
Okay then.
We, the children of Ki.
Your children.
We thought we'd send you off with a little song. It's something you know pretty well.
You wrote it. Enjoy it, Rabbi.
We're really gonna miss you.
Send a postcard if you have a second.
Maybe two.
Okay? So start the song already.
I'm proud to be a Jew. I'd like for you to know, whenever I think of who I am, I want to tell you so, because I'm proud to be a Jew. I'd like for you to know, whenever I think of who I am, I'd like to tell you so. When I'm on the playground, it's plain for all to see. I wear a big forget of me.
When people look at
my friends a treat. I share the chocolate macaroons and matzah that I eat. Because I'm proud to be a Jew. I'd like for you to know. Whenever I think of who I am, I want to tell you so. Thank you, Rabbi Reuben. Proud to be a Jew. Whenever I think of who I am, I love to join the choir and sing out loud and strong. If anyone asked me what I'd do, I'd sing a Jewish song. I sing. I'm proud to be a Jew. Thanks, Rabbi. We love you. Whenever I think of who I am, I want to tell you guys on for you to know. Hi, Rabbi Reuben. I want to tell you so. If you would like to visit, you're the best. For I'm the first of my house. My MITZVAHS you'll see. Bye, Rabbi Reuben. Because I'm proud to be a Jew. I'd like for you to know.
We're gonna miss you.
Nice office. You don't need it anymore, do you?
I'd like for you to know. That's who I am. Thank you, Rabbi.
I've got dibs on the water bottle.
We love you, Rabbi. Don't go.
Oh, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Shabbat Shalom. We just want to ask everyone to hang tight for just a moment so Stephen and Didi and Gable can go out to the lobby where I'm sure they will enthusiastically greet every one of you.
Every single one of you.
Every single one of you.
This year, all kinds of little things that we're doing that are, and one of them is this you're going to get tonight, which says, take a shalom moment, because in one of my sermons I mentioned how it's possible when things get tense, you might get stressed, to right at that moment, take a shalom moment, take a moment of peace, wherever you are. The guy's cutting you off in front of you.